And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuned in to the Status Network, the live TV channel, and this is a Conversation Corner with your host, Author Andrew Snorton, and let's have a conversation. Every second and fourth Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we bring in some great guests doing some great things in entertainment, business, community, and more. And tonight, as we go ahead into season number 2, deuces, yes, we are getting ready to bring in some awesome guests doing some awesome things. Before we get to our guests, we're going to make sure that we take care of our station announcements, public service announcements, and, of course, announcements about yours truly, the author. First, with the Status Network, thank you so much for not only supporting this show, but the entire Status Network family of shows, hosts, you name it, radio, television, we do it here. For tonight's show, the best ways to enjoy this show will be to go to statusnetwork.net, click on the menu for channels, click on LyveTV, and click on the Conversation Corner. And make sure you subscribe to it so that way, it makes it a little bit easier. If you have space on your smartphone, create some space and make sure to download the app for Status Network. Click on channels, click on Live TV, and you're good to go. Social media fans, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope, and more. Status Network as well as Live TV in order to catch the show. For those of you that have Roku and Amazon Fire Stick, make sure to go ahead and tune in to Status Network. And if you're not following the host, make that change today. So go ahead and visit Facebook, Author Andrew Snorton. You can go ahead and catch the show. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Author A. Snorton. And for a more organic look, you want to make sure to go on Instagram, Author A. Snorton, and you can go ahead and get it in. So that is what makes us the station that we are as we continue to do some great things. Now let's pivot to our announcements so that way you're aware of different things going on, not only here in Metro Atlanta, but pretty much anywhere. So let's go ahead with the first of our public service announcements. Thanksgiving. I have to give shouts to my colleague Z Mullen. As every Thanksgiving, she does some big stuff, and one of the big events she has is the 5th annual NFL versus NBA. It's a celebrity basketball game taking place at the Boys and Girls Club right there in Decatur, where it's greater. And of course, we know if she's attached to it, there's some good causes that are being supported. So make sure to contact Z Mullen at the information that you see below and support this great event taking place during Thanksgiving. Our next announcement is one of my good friends and fraternal brothers, Mr. Jerry Pope. For about the last 10 to 12 years, he has taken time out during Thanksgiving to go ahead and feed the homeless, and this year is no exception. It's the annual Feed the Homeless at the Richard Wallace Memorial, taking place November 26th at 6 p.m. The goal is to feed 150 people, and as you see from the archival photos, he's been out there as well as bringing in some great people. If you want to find out more, make sure to go ahead and look up the annual Feed the Homeless Richard Wallace Memorial. And if you want to do a donation, if you got $5 on it, you got a dime or whatever, go ahead and do that Cash App and help support the efforts of Jerry Pope, one of the men of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. The next announcement that we've got, again, it's holiday time, and shouts to the National Association of Black MBAs. They have a big time gala, one of the bigger events during the winter. So December 13th from 9 p.m. until 1 a.m. This is an event that you don't want to miss. It's a holiday soiree, donations for toy drives, one of the top DJs in the city, DJ Tron. And hey, I've heard of that band before, Grits and Jelly Butter. They do a thorough job. For more information, you want to go ahead and contact communications at ATL bmba.com. So shouts to the Black MBAs representing Atlanta. Our next public service announcement. Oh my goodness, look at there. Look at that gentleman right there in the middle. I want to give shouts to my friends and associates up in Louisville, North Carolina, right outside of Winston-Salem, for the book signing that took place on November 3rd. Shouts to West Bend Winery and Brewery, a great space and place. And look, it was 55, 60 degrees. We were able to enjoy being outdoors. Had a fellow author, Valerie Johnson, who you see on the right, who was actually a virtual guest on the show. So shouts to everybody, and shouts to Valerie. Goodness, one of my friends that helped get that all together. So shouts to the folks in Carolina. Now you know why I go there so often. Our next public service announcement. Oh my goodness, this look, I'm 2 for 2, y'all. Look at here. This coming Saturday at the AEI Startup Factory in Stonecrest, Georgia, basically Stonecrest Mall. You want to make plans to join us. The big festival, the International Atlanta Unity Day, takes place from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. The festival portion is open to the public. It's a little bit over 40 vendors, food, health-related items, DJs, music, artists, dance, the whole 9 yards. Outside of that, though, you want to check out the seminars. Now, the seminars are a ticketed event for a nominal fee. However, some great information coming out. I'll be part of the panel that will take place between 12:30 and 1:30 with fellow authors. And then from 2 to 4 p.m., there is a short film festival with some cash prizes. So shouts to the International Atlanta Unity Day. They were a guest on our show towards the end of September, and the big day is coming up on Saturday. Our next announcement. And oh my, you know what? This is great. You know what? Clearly y'all hadn't seen me in a minute, but this is from this past Saturday as I was in Dallas, Texas. That's right, Dallas, Texas, Pan-African Connections. They're one of the bookstores carrying both of my books. Many shouts to the friends and associates who helped make it happen. Shouts to Calvin Whitaker for helping with the marketing and things along those lines. And amazing when you travel, you run into people from Atlanta. That's right, that gentleman you see here actually lives in Metro Atlanta. So we had to travel to Dallas in order to connect. Go figure. But our next announcement is after the show. Even if you're not a cigar fan, if you like to wind down, read between the lines, if you like to wind down, check us out. Meet us at Maduro's Cigar Lounge from about 8:35, maybe 8:40 until close. The special tonight is a $5 beverage, but just use your imagination. And even if you're not a cigar fan, the ventilation system is pretty solid, so make sure to meet us at Maduro's. Shouts to the crew out there, Pat, Roberto, everybody. So thank you very much. And our next announcement. Oh, my goodness, college football season. Well, part of the reason I travel to North Carolina is I'm able to do coverage of Wake Forest University football. They're actually having a really good season, a 7-2 record overall, 3-2 in the ACC. They took an L this past Saturday against Virginia Tech, and yeah, I know they're playing at Clemson. I know what you're thinking. However, the last game that I covered was the beginning of the month against NC State, and they did kind of put it on them 44-10. So you can catch all the interviews and whatnot at asnortonccs.com/blog. But what we're going to do is we're going to go into the post-game interview we did with Amari Henderson, who at the time was the ACC's leader in interceptions. So let's go ahead and take a look at the interview, the 2-minute take with Amari Henderson. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Andrew Snorton with Status Network and Creative Community Solutions. We are here with one of the players of the game today, Amari Henderson. Amari, how are you doing?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good, especially after a game like that. Be able to beat the in-state rivalry like that, man, I feel really good.
Describe to our viewers, we know it's preparation. Mm-hmm. Describe to our viewers the level of preparation that you felt really put you in a position to do some really big things today.
Just a lot of film, watching a lot of film, picking up on tendencies. As a secondary, we came in every day, watch a lot of film, watch first and second down cut-ups, third down cut-ups, see what kind of tendencies they can give us so we can be in the right mindset where we can set our feet and just play fast.
2 interceptions today. Describe to our viewers, because people think, oh, you're just out there, but like you said, it was about preparation, right, getting an idea of personnel, tendencies. Describe to our viewers really both of the picks today.
Right. Should have been 4, but both of the picks, a lot of that just came with preparation, watching film, whether that's the formation or the split on the alignment of the receiver. And plus we knew they had a young quarterback. We try to get them in rhythm, so a lot of 3-step and things like that. So just watching a lot of film and picking up on tendencies.
Okay. Next to last question. Bermuda Boys. Right. In case they don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Go ahead and let them know.
Yeah, man. Bermuda Boys, man. That's just something the DBs came up with, man. And that's just something we hang our hat on. Just come out every day, man, and just trying to be the best unit on the field and just come out and make plays.
Okay. Now I know part of it is going to be preparing for next week.
Right.
What are some positive takeaways that you think are going to help you for next week?
For the most part, we came out healthy, so that's a positive. Coming off a win like that, that's just keep the ball rolling. Just pick up on that energy, continue to just continue to go forward with a win like that, and just come out Sunday and just continue to grow.
Back here.
And that's pretty much it.
Okay, Amari, thank you for making the time.
Appreciate
Best
you, man.
wishes with everything
Thank you,
moving
thank you.
forward. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So the next Wake Forest game that we'll cover will take place the Saturday before Thanksgiving for Senior Day. So shouts to the crew. Y'all know what's up. And now that we've taken care of my stuff, let's go ahead and go into our first guest for the evening.
Hello.
Go ahead. Please introduce yourself to all the wonderful people out there.
Hello, I am Chastity Oaks, and I'm owner of Arise Health Institute in Villa Rica, Georgia.
Okay, Chastity, could you do us a favor to give our viewers a point of reference? Where are you from, and then where are you based out of?
I'm from Carroll County or Villa Rica area, and that's where I'm based out of. So that's about 45 minutes west of Atlanta on I-20.
Okay, so kind of in that gray area, not quite the outer rim, because we know Alabama's like about 5 minutes down the street.
Right.
We're being a little
right.
sarcastic. We
Well,
know it's
for us, it actually pretty much is 5 minutes.
okay.
down the
I
street,
was
so.
being sarcastic and accurate. About 5 minutes down the street. Early on, when you think back as part of your professional journey, what were some of the things that really piqued your interest in regards to, hey, I think I might want to pursue this or pursue that or what have you?
Well, originally I was teaching, and I needed to take like a second job just to earn a little extra cash. So I decided to do personal care. And my first patient ever was a quadriplegic gentleman, and I was there helping him, and the light bulb went off in my head to say, I really want to pursue healthcare a little bit more in depth. And that's when I decided to get my certified nursing assistant certificate.
And that's interesting that you say that, because we know healthcare obviously is important. It's something that is still a growing field, but it was just that personal and professional experience. It's like, hey, this is my calling, or this is where I need to pivot.
Exactly. It was just being able to be there for him and perform those activities of daily living is how we coin it in the healthcare industry. Just being able to help him get up out of bed and into his wheelchair, and then seeing that transition from him being completely incapacitated to being in his chair and then having the freedom to do what he needed to do. And I felt very comforting that I was able to help him do that.
Wow, that's awesome. So not only, like you said, looking at through the lens of being a professional, but and a lot of guests also talk about that stewardship piece.
Right.
So now that you've got that experience and now that you've got that nudge, walk through with our viewers some of your next steps that were taken as you continue to go down this career path.
So from that point, I decided I signed up for a CNA course. I took that. And then from that point, my first job in healthcare after that, or I should say my second job in healthcare, was doing home health care. And from that point, I worked as a home health aide, which is slash CNA also.
Okay.
But I got to the point where I felt like my hands were tied. I wanted to do a little bit more for my patients. I saw the nurses come in on those home care visits and be able to, dose their medication, give them health care education, give them those things that I wasn't able to do. So that made me want to go a little further and become a nurse.
And you're saying a lot right there, because there's already, for lack of a term, a good amount of moving parts just within, I'll say, one area, one realm. Mm-hmm. But then you saw it to be like there's more that
Yes.
can be done. So describe to our viewers, as many moving parts as there are just in that one realm, describe those next steps. Describe that additional push where you're like, you know what, there's more that I can do.
Well, for me, it wasn't an easy journey for me, because I took the long route. At least that's the way I like to look at it, because I went from CNA, and then I applied to get into nursing school, and I had been out of school for so long. I had to take an entrance exam. I didn't quite score high enough originally my first time around to actually get into the RN program, but I got into the LPN program.
Okay.
So I started in my LPN program, and then my family situation changed to where I couldn't finish the LPN program. I had to sit out of school, so I was upset about that. However, I sat out a year, and then after that year, I was able to go back. So I reapplied to get back into school, and they were like, you have to take the entrance exam again. So I was not happy about that I had to take it
Wow.
again.
And I'm going to pause you right there because everyone thinks, I can't say everyone, a number of people think, oh, you got here and all you did was A, B, like it was linear. But like you said, you kind of went through all the different shapes of geometry. So like rectangles, squares,
Yeah.
ovals, ellipses,
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
So you
Yeah.
really, for lack of a better term, took that, the circuitous route.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes,
So
absolutely.
walk through with us again. You got started, had to take time off.
Yep.
You're ready to get back, and it's almost like you have to start back all over again.
I did.
Walk us through the adjustments that you made in order to maintain your focus and still keep that larger goal in mind.
Well, I had to have a lot of self-talk that I could do it. I went back in there, I took the exam again, and lo and behold, I scored high enough to get into the registered nursing program. So it actually worked out well for me.
Oh, wow.
That little bit of a setback actually put me a little bit more forward for me. So I was able to get into the registered nursing program from there. And then even that was a struggle just because I had 2 young kids at the time, a husband at home, so I had a family situation to take care of and still get through nursing school.
So even in the midst of moving parts, when you think about through the lens of professional education, family, and all that, and even though, like you said, you had a couple of delays, and a number of people have said this, and you've probably heard this, delays don't mean defeat.
Right.
So walk through with us as you're continuing to maneuver through your continued growth and your continued progression.
Well, in the nursing, any nurses out there know that a nursing program is very strenuous. So I had to do a lot of, I just stayed focused on the end result. And I encourage anybody in any type of situation where you just stay focused on the end because you'll get there. Then everything else, you'll make it happen, make things work to where you can accomplish your goal. So while I was in school, I hired people to help me take care of my children and just made things work so I could get to the end result.
Okay. So with all those moving parts and all those things in place and all those, we'll say, delays, excuse me, for lack of a better term, you finally get to your destination.
Mm-hmm.
So now that you get to your destination, it's the proverbial what's next.
Yes. So I finally graduated. Fortunately, I had, at the time, I had switched from home health care to working in the hospital as like a patient care tech. So I was able to kind of make that transition from personal care tech to registered nurse after I passed my licensing exam. But then my next hurdle was to deal with was the nurse bullying. So I had to deal with that for at least a year.
Wait. We're going to pause here because now bullying, the first thing I think about with bullying, and we know how it sometimes goes on in elementary school, middle school, and high school. You mean there's a professional form of bullying too?
Oh, yes. And we have a saying within the nursing community that the nurses, sometimes will eat our young. I think things are starting to change where we're not doing that as much, but it used to be almost like, I think the other nurses felt like it was a rite of passage to kind of give the new nurse a very hard time where the nurse is leaving crying almost every day and feeling defeated. However, I had another nurse that was kind enough to me to kind of latch on to me. Her name was Lenora Houseman, actually, and just kind of helped me get through that transitional phase.
Mm-hmm.
And I made it through, and it came out a stronger and better nurse at the end of it.
Okay. And after getting through that hurdle, so it seems like, did you run like track or something growing up? Like, because it's like you've gone through like the 110s and then the intermediate hurdle. So like you and these hurdle things, like, is that like part of who you are or something?
Evidently. So I'm a good jumper, evidently.
So after getting through that first year, describe to our viewers some of the continued things that you were able to do, and then that next pivotal moment into where you are right now.
It just seems like it was one thing after another, because after I made it through the first year of nursing or so, I went through a divorce, so that's never anything that's an easy thing to get through. And then I'm moving states, so I moved from Indiana to Georgia, and then I had to get reacquainted, and I did that actually during my divorce, so I had a lot of people helping me out through that time period too. I had friends that actually owned home health companies to help me out. I think her name was Barbara Allman. She helped me when I first got here, and then I got hired on at Cancer Treatment Center. And from there, I worked there about 6 months, and then I was put into a supervisor position. So that got me into a different style of nursing from that point. And I enjoyed it, but that when I was in that supervisor position, I just felt that I was going to be able to, I guess, impact nursing on that end of things, but I still didn't feel fulfilled for me personally. And that's when I started looking outside the box to see what else I could do.
And it sounds like, and we've heard this term, there are different levels to this. So it's almost like here's your goal, work through a couple of delays or what have you, you get there. Now that you're there, it's like you're doing a solid job, but you're like, there's more.
Exactly.
So describe to us, after getting at that supervisory level, describe to us your next pivot in regards to what you're doing now.
Well, my next pivot I wanted to offer others what I had, because most nurses out there they started off as CNAs. Or even some other healthcare professions. They start off as CNAs. It's like get your foot in the door. And even now, some colleges are even requiring that you be a CNA before they accept you into the nursing program. That's just how important that basis is for people, foundation. So I wanted to be able to offer others the same opportunity that I had. Start off as a CNA, see if that's what they want, and then just grow from there.
Okay. So after that realization, things along those lines, walk through with our viewers now with what you're doing through Arise Health Institute.
So what I'm doing now, I am actually in the process of, I'm working with the state of Georgia and trying to get my full accreditation, which is, anytime you work with the state, it's a long process.
Yeah.
But I'm working with the state of Georgia right now so that I'm able to be an accredited school and be able to train nursing assistants to become certified nursing assistants and take the national board test. And once they do that, they'll be able to work in any hospital, nursing home, home health, private duty, many options. And then from there, if they'd like to take it further, they can also look into the nursing programs.
And that's awesome that you're making this next step, because it's a combo of preparing that next generation of healthcare professionals.
Exactly.
It's also, to a degree, stewardship and outreach, because you're trying to do what you can to equip people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really on both ends, not only as, let's say, the professionals that you're training, but also the people that you're serving. So you're blending so many different things. So it's not just through the lens of business. It's not just through the lens. It's like the things are not exclusive.
Right.
Like you can merge those. Now, I know from what I recall, this coming Sunday, there's an event that you're involved in. Because you described to our viewers a little bit of the particulars, date, time, location, as well as some of the things that are going to make this something to definitely circle on their calendar.
Sure. This Sunday at Antioch Baptist Church in Carrollton, Georgia, there's going to be a wellness fair. Tanner Hospital is involved. Let's see, Rose's Cafe. Trying to think other people that are going to be there. We have a mental health profession, which is professional that'll be there talking about mental health, which is really good, especially within our community. A lot of times people do not want to talk about mental health, so that'll also be good. I will be there since November is Diabetes Awareness Month. I will be doing some basic diabetes education and things, what to look for as far as finding out if you might be a candidate for diabetes and when to go see your doctor. But that is this Sunday, November 17th. It's at Antioch Baptist Church in, I guess, like Carrollton, Georgia. And the time that it's going to start is going to be at 9:55. Okay,
9:55. So you remind me of an instructor I had, and we would always do practice, but he'd give like the most unusual times, like 5:38 and like 2. I mean, you made it so it's a time that people can remember.
Yes, 9:55.
That is awesome. Well, look, you are covering a lot of ground. Seriously, you're covering a lot of ground, and you're making sure the next steps with the Institute to make sure to equip future professionals. You're still engaged stewardship outreach with what
Yes.
you're doing this Sunday. That is also very critical. What aren't you doing?
Well, I have 2 teenagers at home and getting them taken care of also. So I'm doing a lot, but, by the grace of God and just with my family support and friends support, I'm able to get through it.
And that's awesome that you say that, because a number of us, self included, we have mentioned his name a time or two on here.
Yes.
So as we're getting ready to gradually wind down your segment, of course we're going to bring you back for the group recap. Could you let our viewers know the best ways to connect, stay engaged, and stay informed, so that way, as people are more aware of the resource that you're providing through the Institute, as well as other things, they can get plugged in and get connected?
Sure. You can follow me on Instagram at arise_health_institute. You can also go to my website at just www.arisehealthinstitute.com. And on there, under the Contact Us, you can put your email address in, and it'll come directly to my email box. And then we can get you on the newsletter and keep you informed about what we have, what we're offering. And hopefully I can invite everybody to my grand opening at the beginning of the year, and we'll go from there.
Well, we're just going to go ahead and put that out into existence.
Absolutely.
And everything. Chastity, thank you for taking and making the time and sharing your story of impact. I know that there are people out there that needed to hear what you were sharing today. So what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but during the break, here's a hint. We encourage you to go ahead and get on those phones or your laptop or what have you. Go ahead and add, support, and connect. So we'll be back in a couple of moments after our commercial break. This is the Conversation Corner.
Wait a minute.
Back on the Conversation Corner with your host, Author Andrew Snorton on the Status Network. And y'all, it's gotten cold the last couple days.
That's it.
I know
That's
part
it.
of it is, seasons change. But when you have members that Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
That's it. That's it.
Loganville Conyers. Let me make sure I got it right. Loganville Conyers chapter.
That's right.
Sigma
Loganville.
Eta Lambda chapter.
Sigma Eta Lambda.
Small chapter with the big heart.
You know, and you know because you're one of our founders. You're one of our pearls, right?
Oh yeah, that's,
Hey,
that's
that's it.
the rumor we keep hearing. But yeah. So, Brother Ron Edwards, good to see you.
It's great to see you
For
too, bro.
our viewers, please give them a brief point of reference regarding the fraternity.
Okay.
And a little bit of a point of reference regarding the chapter.
Fantastic. Well, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated was founded on an ice cold Tuesday, December 4th, 1906, on the campus of Cornell University, Ithaca, New York, by 7, we call our jewels. I won't go into all of their names right now.
Right.
But specifically, I became a member fall 2017. Frozen Souls of Redemption is my, our line, and it was something I wanted for 20 years.
Okay.
I waited, and the time was right for me.
You make it sound like marinating a steak. Like, you just gotta wait and give it some time to season and leaven and all that type of thing, and then bam, here you are.
So I believe, I was born to be an alpha. But
okay.
my time came on November 11th. So I just celebrated my 2-year alphaversary on Monday. So
exactly. Happy second year.
I appreciate
Hopefully
that,
this
man.
is a terrific 2, because I've heard that other T word regarding the 2s. We're gonna go with terrific.
This
2.
is terrific
We're gonna
2s
go
for sure.
terrific 2.
For sure.
So you shared a little bit about the fraternity, like you said, established at Cornell University by college-aged individuals.
Absolutely.
Could you give our viewers a point of reference, a few of the historical names, not only past history but current history, that people might be familiar with? Like, oh, I didn't know they were acquainted with the organization.
Right, absolutely. Well, we have famous alphas such as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. But one person that people may not know, and I think everyone is familiar with Omari Hardwick, who plays Ghost on the TV show Power. So he's a bruh.
Yeah,
he's an alpha.
Ghost.
Absolutely. And there's so many bruhs, to be honest with you, that have contributed to our history. And I'm just happy to be in the house.
Well, and you're more than just happy to be in the house. Real quick, could you briefly share, because from what I've researched, from what I've gathered, like you said, Alpha has its presence in a number of areas.
Yes,
education
absolutely.
is definitely key.
Absolutely.
Walk through with us briefly, just through that lens of education, what you're able to do.
I'm an assistant principal at Middle Ridge Elementary School in Newton County, and I've been in education for about 15 years. I taught on the high school level for 10 years, the middle school level for 3, and so this is my second year in administration. And I got into administration really at the same time I became an alpha, because I saw an immediate and pressing need to help our community, people as a whole, but honestly speaking, the African American community needs more support. We need more financial support. We need more education support. And Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated was founded to support us.
And you said a lot right there, but based on when people do the research, previous history, contemporary,
Yes,
it's like
yes.
you're just telling it. I mean, plain and simple.
Right. A lot of people don't know. We have been present. Alpha Phi Alpha, like I said, was founded in 1906, and we've been present in front of the scenes and behind the scenes at every important pivotal moment in American history since 1906, from the pre-Jim Crow era all the way to current trends. I mean, even last week, one of my other bros we hold this thing called Voteless People as a Hopeless People. It's one of our national programs, Voteless People as a Hopeless People. And we're out doing the work to get people registered, and not just registered, but encouraging them to vote, not just at the national elections, but local elections, because that's where the change is made every single time. We need people active, and Alpha Phi Alpha is pushing our presence to help people get active.
Now, part of that push, as we pivot to the chapter that you're a member of, Loganville Conyers,
yes.
Sigma Eta Lambda chapter, there are things that the chapter is doing locally. So
yes.
to share just a little sprinkling, give them an appetizer size portion, just a couple of the outreach programs, and that is really going to set the stage for your big event taking place next month.
Fantastic. Well, like I mentioned before, A Voteless People is a Hopeless People is one of our national programs, but another one of our national programs is Go to High School, Go to College. And just last Friday, the Sigma Eta Lambda chapter was at Miller Grove High School, where we sponsored a lock-in. We had about 25 to 30 young males, middle school and high school, come out, and we talked to them about the importance of voter registration, but we also took time to talk to them about why it's important to get a good education, a strong quality education, not just show up and go to school, but to take advantage of everything that there is to offer. Another one of our programs is ABC Squared.
Okay.
And ABC Squared is a program where we go into the hospitals maybe a few days before Christmas, and we're simply there to pass out teddy bears, stuffed animals to help children feel better during the holidays.
Well, to a degree, you're doing more than that, because I recall, like, in years past, some of those cases, it was bigger than just visiting and giving the kids cheer. There have been cases where that was a family holiday.
Absolutely.
To say the least. So there's
Absolutely.
a number of examples of, and this has been a theme not only on tonight's show, but a lot of shows: stewardship,
Yes.
outreach.
Yes.
What can you do to leave things a little bit better?
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's just like your guest, Ms. Oates, shared right before I came on. There is a great deal of stewardship. And when we go to the hospitals, a lot of times children will go in, honestly, for a checkup, and they wind up staying through the holiday. And it's not just the child that's there, but it's the parents that are there. It's the grandparents that are there. They have their family meals at the hospital. So we're there to provide a sense of encouragement and to really to wrap our arms of loving support around them, to let them know that they're not alone. And we also cover 2 different hospitals in the Metro Atlanta area.
Right. So what are, now, I know with you based out in East Metro, Loganville, Conyers, what are the children's hospitals where you actually make your visits? We
typically go to Snellville Pediatrics, which is in Snellville, Georgia, and on the same day we cross the city and drive over to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. And we've also been to Grady as well. So we just want to make sure that we hit as many opportunities as we can to brighten the holidays.
And again, and that's awesome. And I know during the holidays, different things kind of get, spiked or augmented. But like you said, when you're going there, you see the impact. And it's great that you talked about the ABC2 project, because from what I understand, like you said, you're dedicated to your work, but you also have to breathe a little bit.
Yes.
So explain to our viewers this opportunity to come up for air and come out, have a nice time, but you're supporting things like ABC2 and a couple other things.
We all need a break. Like my bruh said, we all need a break. So we were talking earlier this year in August about what is something that we can do to help raise money, but at the same time, celebrate the holidays, celebrate the end of the year. And several of us got together and we decided to plan what's called the Black Ice Affair.
Okay, now hopefully that means the streets will be all right, because I know when I'm driving black ice on the street, I mean, it just doesn't.
Well, I can tell you, even if it freezes over, we're still going to party on top of the ice and carry on.
You heard it here. So walk through with us a few of the things for the Black Ice Affair, and when people come out, which they should, what are they going to expect at this event?
Well, the Black Ice Affair is going to be held at Pseudo Bar and Grill, which is located at 2270 Salem Road Southeast in Conyers, Georgia, and that's 30013. It's a day party. From 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., you come as you are. We're going to have an ugly sweater contest. We're going to have some random raffles and drawings to give away some prizes. And when you purchase your ticket, a portion of the proceeds go towards purchasing stuffed animals so we can give them right back to those children in need. It's going to be a great, great time.
So to make sure we've got it correct, it's a day party, which we know day parties in Metro Atlanta. If you have not been to a day party, you might want to put that on the to-do list.
Yes.
The second thing is you're coming out. Another thing with Pseudo, and you might they are a black-owned establishment.
They are, absolutely.
And they actually are. There was an event that they hosted, and they actually announced where they donated some of their stuff to actually Morris Brown.
Right.
So you're actually doing business with a business
that also gives
has
back.
Also given back.
Yes, it's cyclical. It is absolutely.
So we've got the day party from 2 to 6. So if you're one of those people who has to go home when the street light comes on, you'll be able to come out and hang. Mature, relaxed atmosphere.
That's right.
Now, is it mandatory that you wear the ugly sweater, or is it more mandatory for you to come out, enjoy and add to the ambiance?
Let me say something. We're going to be having a good time. We're going to be strolling. We're going to be dancing, having a great time. So come as you are. You can wear an ugly sweater if you want to. Bros, please wear your paraphernalia if you so desire. Any members of the Divine Nine, please wear your paraphernalia. But whoever you are, we want you to come out and have a good time. Please come and look good now. Don't get me wrong. Look good. Look great, because the bros are there. And you never know who you might meet. But we want you to have a good time regardless of what you wear. So come on out.
That's awesome.
And this is going to be Saturday, December 14th.
Okay, so again, you're looking at just before Christmas, so almost like at that peak time where you want to come up for air.
That's it.
A day party from 2 to 6.
Yes, sir.
Supporting, a great establishment.
That's right.
Supporting, a group of individuals who are coming together to give back for the greater good.
That's it.
It's still having fun, but a portion of the ticket sales are going to help support these types of programs.
Yes.
Especially with, like you said, with ABC2 coming up. I think that very next week is when the distributions.
Just a couple of days after that. That's it.
So now, of course, tickets. So now that I'm interested in the ticket,
Okay.
what are the prices? Number one.
Okay.
And number two, I know in the age of modern technology, we can do Eventbrite and all that.
That's
but
it.
what if I'm one of those not so technologically sound people?
Okay.
Are there options?
There are options. So you can go on to sigma-eta-lambda.org, and there's going to be a link there where you can purchase. But I can tell you right now, we have tickets in hand for just $20.
Hey, let me hold one of those for a minute.
This one's yours. You can have that one.
Oh,
That one's
goodness,
yours.
I
brought
my
one just for
Christmas
you.
present early.
Absolutely.
Look at here.
For
Oh, my
$20, and it's just 2 for $35. So some people are. I know if you want to bring your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, or your wife, bring your friend. It doesn't matter. 2 for $35. We got you.
And not
It's
only
gonna be a
that, what's
great-
neat about this
great
ticket,
time.
this golden ticket. See,
That's it.
That's
That's it. Old gold.
This is
Old gold and
golden
black.
ticket. What's neat is on the back, you have not only your chapter information, but you've also got like a listing of these community and other related things that are going on. Let me read this. You already talked about the youth lock-in.
That's it.
And then ABC2, which after this event,
Yes.
you're making sure before Christmas to get
Going
those
right into
deliveries.
it. Going right into it.
Then you've got a scholarship bowling tournament that is in the works. So that way, again, part of what people are paying into is to help support service and outreach. Oh, wait, here's something we've heard of, the Alpha Derby weekend.
Hey, I think you know a little bit something about
yeah,
that, don't
I heard
you?
a little bit about that, but yeah.
Don't forget about our Big Hats and Bow Ties Youth Scholarship contest.
So, voteless people is a hopeless people. So the thing is, with not only with the ticket purchase, you're also saying, hey, look, these are the things that we are scheduled to do. And
Right.
a lot of these are tying back into the themes that you said before,
Right.
service, outreach,
Yes.
stewardship, things of that nature.
Scholarship, manly deeds.
Yes.
And you know the rest.
Oh, really?
and love for all mankind.
Yeah, yes, I've heard that a few days.
Brother Snorton, I want to make sure I mention the link they can purchase tickets.
Please do. So walk through. You've got people excited. Like, wow, here's something that is coming up on the horizon.
Yes.
It'll take place during the day.
Yes.
And like I said, if I'm on one of those street light deals, I can still hang out.
Yep.
You already mentioned the ticket prices. You said the ticket prices are $20 per person, and if people, for couples, for one of those easy day type of deals, $35 per couple, which is definitely accessible.
It's fantastic
Portion
price.
of the proceeds are going back to support ABC2 and all these other great things.
Yes.
Walk through with our viewers the best ways in order to do ticket purchases.
I believe the best way to purchase your ticket is to go to shlblackiceaffair.eventbrite.com. I'll say it again, SHL Black Ice Affair, that's all one word, .eventbrite.com. And once you go on the website, you're going to see the link for the single per ticket price of $20 or the couple price of $35. And if you're not in the metro Atlanta area, you can also, because I know your heart's big and you want to support, you can just click on the donation link and you can drop a donation for an amount, whether it's large or small. We appreciate
And
it.
I'm going to pause you right there. And you make a good point, because sometimes people live out of the area,
That's
or
it.
it's like, we're going all over. But people can actually just do a donation, and those donations are going to help support, from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, ABC2, and would
Yes.
that also kind of go towards scholarship, or is it going to be
Absolutely.
mainly? So even for people that aren't in the area, there are ways for you to engage, connect, and still lend support.
Yes, and you can also search for our page, Black Ice Affair, on Facebook as well. And so the link is there for you to purchase the ticket or donate. Whichever one you do, we appreciate. We want to make sure that we can have an opportunity to help sick children during the holidays.
Well, that's awesome. So to kind of bring it all together before we wind down your segment, you spoke about a little bit about the larger fraternity history, started by college-age students. Some of the historical names, like you mentioned, Martin Luther King Jr., to contemporary names like Omari Hardwick. So you're showing the reach.
That's it.
In
Yes.
regards to the organization. You then spoke a little bit about the chapter and the work that's taking place, way out in the Far East. But
It's not that far.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, hey, I'm just saying. But
I-20 East.
Okay, riding out on I-20, and you've spoken about recent events that you've done. You're also speaking about a great social event taking place next month. But even in the midst of kickback, having fun, networking, enjoying the holiday spirit, you're still maintaining a sense of, but we're doing this not only to have fun and celebrate, but how can we redirect, draw attention to areas of need and concern. Right. And like you said, with the ABC2 project, that's going on that very next week.
It is.
So it's almost like I said, you're taking a moment as I hopefully keep this mic together. See, I'm so excited. You should be too.
You really should.
You
really should. It's going to be amazing.
I'm so excited. I'm knocking over mics and everything. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for it. But hey, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day.
I got your back.
But
I
thank
hope.
you. Hopefully.
I hope.
But getting back to it, and you're doing different give backs that all this, like you said, is cyclical. So that's awesome. That is really awesome.
Our Sigma Eta Lambda chapter's motto is we're a small chapter with a big heart, and everything we do is about the heart, whether it's about the heart of the kids that we're working with, or the heart of older adults. It doesn't matter. We do it for the love of humanity, and that's, at the end of the day, that's why we do it. Yes, we can step. Yes, we can stroll. Yes, we can kick back with the bros, but we do it because we know there's a need to help our community. Whether it's our immediate local community in Decatur, Lithonia, Loganville, Walton Conyers, or the community at large. This is why we're here. This is why we were founded. And on December 14th, we're coming together to celebrate all those things and so many more.
And again, even in the midst of socializing and having fun, stewardship.
That's it.
And now we notice stewardship has been a theme for a number of our shows. But definitely, if you're not getting the stewardship memo tonight, you might want to play this back.
That's
right.
right.
You might want to.
That's right.
So as we're getting ready to kind of wind down the individual segment, could you please remind our viewers the best ways to connect with the chapter? Okay. So not only are they keeping this event on the radar, but the wide range of service initiatives are taking place. And then after talking about the best ways to connect with the chapter, what are the best ways to find out more about the event and support the event?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, once again, you can go to www.sigmaetalambda.org. That's www.sigmaetalambda.org for those who may not be familiar with the Greek pronunciations. And we have several upcoming events. Once again, we have our ABC Squared, ABC2 Stuffed Animal Drive, and we have a bowling tournament that's going to be coming up early spring. We're excited about that. We have a Big Hats and Bow Ties Youth Scholarship also early spring, and simply what that's about is we have an opportunity for middle school and high schoolers to write an essay and do a service project, and based on the project who meets our guidelines, they win a scholarship, including money and or laptops, things to prepare them for going to high school and going to college. So you see how it all ties in together.
Right.
The Alpha Derby is late spring, April, and or is it May this year?
It's May, first weekend in May.
Thank you, first weekend in May, and then we have a golf tournament that we're planning. So we have a lot of opportunities, and you can stay connected to us through our website.
Okay. And real quick, last thing before we pause, before our group recap, social media, Instagram and Twitter.
You want my information?
No, I'm talking about for the chapter. No. I'm not going to be held responsible for that. Chapter information.
If you go to www.sigma-eta-lambda.org, I want to keep it easy for everybody.
Okay, that's cool.
Once you go there, you can click on our link, and it's going to take you to all of our social media feeds, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, you name it, we got it.
Okay, it sounds good. Well, what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our next commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to do a great group recap with our guests. So this is the Conversation Corner.
Thank you.
Wait a minute.
Here, as you see, look, we are putting in work. Here you are doing the commercial break, like reminding people, hey, go ahead and get your ticket.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So we've got our two guests, Chastity Oaks from Rise Health Institute. We've got Ron Edwards representing the Loganville Conyers chapter,
Sigma Eta Lambda
of Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated. One of the key things you both touched on was the importance of stewardship. Chastity, when I look back at our individual segment, you do a seamless job of merging the professionalism, but also the stewardship and outreach. Remind our viewers with this Sunday, not how you're still doing that blend. It's still a professionalism and this and that, but it's also about outreach and equipping and empowering people. So remind people of what's taking place this Sunday.
Sure. So this Sunday in Carrollton, Georgia at Antioch Baptist Church, there will be a wellness fair, and there will be, I will be there doing diabetes education since it's November and in honor of Diabetes Awareness Month. And there will be Tanner Healthcare also there. They'll be doing some nutrition. They'll be doing some nutrition education. There will also be mental health professional there doing mental health education. So things for our community. That's what this Sunday is all about. And it's this Sunday at 9:55.
So remember that time, 9:55. And it's great that, like I said, you're blending the professionalism and that stewardship component. Ron, you're just speaking about the Black Ice Affair.
Yes.
Yes, there's the fun and festivity and all that, but there's a purpose behind it. Remind our viewers the purposes and causes that they're able to support by coming out to this event or just doing a general donation.
Right. By making a general donation or purchasing a ticket, you are supporting our ABC2, our ABC Squared project. And that initiative, that program is to help raise funds for us to purchase toys, gifts for children who are hospitalized during the holidays.
Okay. Another theme that came out in our conversation, really perseverance, as well as just being spiritually grounded, especially when you mentioned at the end. If there's, I'll say, and I know there's a number of takeaways anytime that you engage with people, but what's one takeaway that you want people to really, regardless of what you're doing professionally, what have you, what's one takeaway that you want to leave out there for viewers?
Never give up. Just stay at your dreams. Always go up. Help others on the way up is another thing. Just set your mind to it, stay focused, and just go for it. Just do it.
And Ron, one of the things that came out in the midst of us, cracking jokes and what have you, was, I'll say patience in regards to how you talked about your journey through the fraternity.
Yes.
But also being, I'll say, passionate and purposeful.
Yes.
Please, if there's any takeaway that you want our viewers to have, could you speak to those two themes, please?
Absolutely. Patience is a virtue for sure. But if I could leave you all with one thing, just be passionate about something and work feverishly towards your goals. I went to college in 1996. I was on the campus of Tennessee State University, and I knew then I wanted to be an alpha, but I did not become an alpha until fall 2017, but that fire never died. It was a cold fire, but that fire never died. And I want to say, no matter what it is, whether it's aspiring to be a member of a fraternity or a sorority, or starting your own healthcare initiatives, business, being an entrepreneur like my brother Snorton here, going back to school, or if let's say you're a young viewer and you're in middle school, high school, even elementary, just being committed to finishing your program that you have. Just be committed and stick to it, because in this life, this is what we have. We have each other, and we have to do it together. But you have to have the passion to get up and go. Do what you love. And do it well.
Definitely. And both of you, like I said, not only walking through with our viewers your respective professional journey, your entrepreneurship piece, what you're doing as an administrator in regards to leadership, it's still finding that balance, the professional lens, your service outreach and stewardship, and still maintaining your grounding, but also knowing with the programs that you're about to embark on, how many people you're going to equip and empower in so many different areas with what you're doing as an educator and through the lens of your fraternity, the number of things that you're able to do to go ahead and do that constructive seed planting. That's huge. And those are hopefully, in addition to the other things, hopefully those are takeaways that, as you've reminded our viewers, hey, don't forget about this as well. Chastity, as we get ready to wind down, remind our viewers the best ways to stay connected with the work that you're doing and the work that is definitely on the horizon.
Absolutely. Definitely go to my website and sign up for my newsletter. You just go to arisehealthinstitute.com. You can also follow me on Instagram, and that's at rise_health_institute, and follow me those two ways. You can also find me on Twitter and Facebook also.
Okay. And Ron, what are the best ways for viewers to stay connected with the work that the chapter is doing?
SigmaEtaLambda.org, www.SigmaEtaLambda.org, and we're also on Facebook, Sigma Eta Lambda.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we're getting ready to close out our show, first off, thank you to both of our guests for coming in, sharing their stories of impact professionally, community-wise, and beyond. We hope, for our viewers, this isn't the only time you connect with people. We got to remind you all, but seriously, don't let this be the only time that you hear about their stories or, hey, that's great. No, it has to be bigger than that. Make sure not only our guests for tonight's show, but this is entering year number 2. We've brought in a number of people across the board. Stay connected with these folks because they will feed off of that constructive energy that you bring. As we get ready to close out, Quick reminder, we air every second and fourth Wednesday, so our next broadcast will take place November 27th, the day before Thanksgiving. So as you have whatever, cranberry and ham and turkey and dressing, all that marinating and all that type of thing,
Yummy.
or making that last minute run to the store because you forgot something, make sure you tune in before you make that run out to the store. So that'll be November 27th. And again, thank you for supporting. So we're going to go ahead and wind down. And we're going to close out with, yes, the audiobook info. So we're going to close out. You guys take good care, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's going on, y'all? This is author Andrew Snorton, and today's project is the Author's Mixtape, Volume 1, From H to O, looking at things a little bit differently compared to other poetry and spoken word pieces. This is done in partnership with Third Level Entertainment Music Group, and the way we did our spoken word is a little bit different. What you're about to hear is purely organic. In other words, the topics were picked, given to me. Then I had 10 minutes to come up with something, and they had 10 minutes to come up with instrumentals. You'll hear 2 instrumental tracks and 4 traditional tracks. So sit back, relax, take it all in, and remember, this is the first of what'll be soon to come, the Author's Mixtape.